Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
So Alas is your father?
Yes. And yes, he is the leader of the Red Scribes.
That's handy for you.
You are so predictable. Daddy's little girl can do whatever she wants, right? Don't fool yourself. I'm endlessly having to prove myself more than any other scribe. My father doesn't treat me better than the others, and I expect no less from him.
At least that explains why you look like you just stepped out of a library. I guess he encourages you?
Yes, of course. But I'm big enough to make my own choices. Knowledge fascinates me, and I suppose it would have been like that whoever my father was.
Can you tell me more about your order?
Of course. The Red Scribes are an order of sages. Our quest is to find the answers to all the great mysteries of this world.
And so you know about magic?
We study magic from an essentially theoretical viewpoint, but we're not an order of magicians. Even though some of us practice healing magic, but we have nothing to do with the destructive power magic used by the Lords of the Frozen Shadows, and we know very little about that domain, unfortunately.
I see. But that doesn't mean you can't research it, huh?
Obviously, especially now. Any knowledge which would help us turn this war around would be helpful. But according to our archives, we were already studying magic more than 5 centuries ago.
Oh, really? What do you know about the Ice Lords?
As much as it is possible to know without having met them. In some ways, they're quite fascinating, even though the term might seem inappropriate.
Perfect. How do we kill him?
Ha! If I knew that, do you think I would keep it to myself? But I can tell you this, we do believe it's possible. We know that there are 7 lords. Black Storm, Lady Crystal, Marshal Winters, the White Lady, Lord Blackfrost, the Chiller, and the Ice Duchess.
Everybody knows that. We've had our asses kicked by them enough.
For sure. But in the past, there were more of them. Some scrolls talk of 9 or a dozen, even of 30 lords. Of course it's confusing, and I doubt they would have freely given the information of how to kill one of them. But you can bet that some of them have died. We just have to discover how.
Where did they come from?
Most people believe that the lords appeared recently, at the beginning of the war. But I have found certain scrolls that lead me to believe they have been around more than 300 years. They are originally from a region far to the north of Vertiel. For a long time, they remained there. The beginning of their conquest is quite recent. We all think that the war started 10 years ago, but in fact, it is much longer, maybe even the last century. It took them a long time to escape from their region of origin. The dwarf kingdoms were in their way, and they put up a fight.
You had me going there for a moment. I'm sorry, but dwarves? Save it for the children.
But you're wrong. The dwarves did exist, but the Ice Lords exterminated them.
Right. And I bet they also massacred all those poor dragons and goblins.
You know that dragons and goblins don't exist. You're impossible.
Do they have any weaknesses that we could exploit?
Not that I know of. All of the Ice Lords are powerful sorcerers. They are far more powerful than all the other magicians. They have an unlimited army. If they have a weakness, it's not that.
But in spite of all of this, you think there is something?
I do. We often imagine the Ice Lords as a vast megalithic power. But that's not true. In fact, they desperately hunger for power. Just because they pooled their powers to create the Deadwalker army doesn't mean they like each other. Their balance of power is precarious. As soon as they are done with destroying Vertiel, they'll probably start killing each other.
Sure, but that doesn't help us much if we have to wait until they're done.
Perhaps there is a way to stir up the tensions between them, even if for the moment, I can't think how.
Let's change the subject. Do you know what happened to me in the temple?
I'm still searching for an explanation. Something must have gone wrong during the ritual.
But what was the god's damn ritual supposed to do?
The Red Scribes have always had quite limited magical skills. I believe that the ritual was meant to increase their magical powers to try and find a way of combating the Ice Lords. But instead of channeling pure energy into each of the scribes, the ritual called forth a conscience that settled in you.
Your father called it a demon. How come I got stuck with it?
A demon? That reminds me of the old texts, but I couldn't say if that's what it is. You were standing right there, so that force flowed into you. It could have been my father, or any of us, I guess.
Well, that's just great. What do I do now?
I would dearly like to help you. But even though I have searched through all the texts I have here, I can find no reference to anything like this experience of yours, at least for now. But until we have found out more, you must try to fight against this thing. Do not allow it to get comfortable. We don't know what its intentions are or how powerful it is. It could be dangerous for you.
So then, any result from the study of all these creatures of the swamps?
Well, I'd really like to meet some of these creatures who live here. But for now...
What can you tell me about the World Heart?
Many of the people on Vertiel believe that the World Heart is just a myth. There are many different beliefs from one region to another, but most of them have more in common than not.
The World Heart is where life and prosperity are born. I've already heard that crap.
If we were to imagine Vertiel as a living being, the World Heart is exactly what it sounds like, the heart of the world. It's what keeps the world alive. It beats, and Vertiel lives from its energy. If you wish, I can try to learn more about it. Come back and see me in a few days.
Why aren't the chrysalids attacking? Hey, time to wake up. Are you Heyman? Mirana's assistant?
Mirana.
You okay? Can you move?
Cold.
Man, you don't look so good. Come on, we'll go back to the village. Mirana will take care of you.
Heyman! Oh, you found him. Thank you. But what have you done to him? Did you hit him?
He was like this when I found him in the swamps. He followed without complaint, but never said a word.
He must be in a state of shock. I'll take care of him. In any case, Heyman owes you much, as I do. All of these refugees are in your debt. Please, I would like you to have this. It belonged to my husband.
Hey, thanks. I'll put it to good use. Here, I got those ingredients you wanted, and some things to eat as well.
This is very generous of you. I promise you this will save many lives.
What is the point? As useless as bandaging a corpse.
Perfect. Then I can begin passing all this out among the refugees. Here. This is to thank you for your efforts.
Thanks. You got everything you need, I think.
Thank you for your help. But don't fool yourself. With all of these refugees, I never have everything we need. If you ever have any extra food or ingredients, I'd be happy to buy them from you.
I'll keep that in mind. How's your assistant doing?
Alas, there's been no improvement. He's awake, but reacts to nothing. I have no idea what he could have seen to put him in such a state.
Yeah, who are you? One of them fucking mercenaries, right?
Fucking mercenary, yeah. Sounds about right.
You know what I call your lot? Ore blades. I got no time for ores.
Maybe if you were to do something about your bad breath, the whores would let you get close to them. You know, I'm just saying.
Go fuck yourself, ore blade. Do I have to spill it out, or should I just put my boot in your arse? Clear off!
Would you just shut your stupid mouth for 2 seconds, please? The steward sent me here to help you.
Oh, that's all I need. Don't he think I got enough on my plate? Now he sends me some ore blade from God's nowhere. Hey, as long as it ain't me is paying for you, hey? You want to help? Knock yourself out. I warn you, there's plenty to do.
Get to the point before I set your breath on fire.
All right, take it easy. No need to get nasty, eh? You want to help? Yes or no?
Keep talking.
Well, for a start, you could try and find one of my patrols that's gone missing. At first, I thought maybe one of those half-wits was sleeping it off under a tree somewhere. But it's been a while now. Maybe something bad happened to him in the swamp.
I guess I could go back and check.
What a coincidence. That's exactly what I was gonna ask you. After that, well, I suppose a pro like you, I guess you would be useful helping out the sentries. It won't be luxury. I don't know if you've seen what we're supposed to fight with, but wow, if you can have a word with your quartermaster to see what he can do for my lads, you have my blessing.
The benediction of a drunk. Better and better.
It's what all us fucking mercenaries dream of. All right, I'll see what I can do.
Right, we may be living in the arsehole of Virgil, but being armed like a bunch of tramps we can do without. And while you're at it, when you've been to the forge, you'll probably feel like letting off steam a bit. Why don't you go and take it out on my lads?
What do you mean?
Kick their arses so they can't sit down and get drunk instead of patrolling. And show them a couple of tricks while you're at it. A bit of training. Couldn't do no harm.
Your men can't afford to keep their thumbs in their asses. It's time to teach them how to use those weapons.
Knock yourself out, Pettyblade. I'll go and shake 'em awake. Nice job. Of course, they'll hate you for a while, but what they learned here today will save their lives one day.
My pleasure. I like this way of saving lives.
Here we go. Another one of these hick refugees. There's nothing for you here.
Open your eyes, Smithy. I'm one of the Freeborn Blades.
Of course. I'm guessing you have need of my precious services. Alas, nothing that would truly put my talent and virtuosity to the test, I'd imagine. Such is the sad lot of the true artiste in times of war. So, what can I do for you?
Get that forge cooking. You've got work to do. I don't want to see so much as a dent in the guard's armor. And we need some weapons with edges that will actually cut something.
I don't even have enough materials to forge a single sword worthy of the name. Sorry, but if what you want were possible, it would have been done long ago. What's more, I'm not really a blacksmith. If you want an assembly line of weapons, I wouldn't count too much on me.
You say you're a gifted artist, and yet you're incapable of forging anything that is actually functional?
Now, I didn't say that. The weapons that I create are more than functional. They have a style, a beauty, that goes far beyond their capacity to kill. I was simply clarifying that I have not undergone blacksmith training as such. Making a weapon, even a vulgar, unsophisticated one, takes time and can require several attempts.
So what is it you need?
Everything you can possibly bring me. Metal, leather, coal, preferably in large quantities. A dozen or so pieces of each would make a start, I suppose.
I'll take a look around and see what I can find. I need more info about Valvanor.
And you have decided that I have a sympathetic face. It's the story of my life. Talent worthy of a king's ransom, but surrounded by cretins who only seek that which is free.
What can you tell me about the steward?
Oh, don't expect me to say anything bad about Bertolf Chambriad. I'm not always in agreement with him, but I can see that he knows his business. And he keeps the village relatively safe.
It's not often you see an elf blending in with other cultures. Are there many of you here in Valvanor?
To my knowledge, I was the only one. That is, until Prince Arundel and his acolyte arrived. Does that pose a problem for you?
Not at all.
Well, it does for me. His Majesty the Prince of Imbeciles is going to bring us nothing but trouble.
Do you know the woman who runs the healing house?
Oh, but of course. She's all one hears about lately. Everyone here will tell you that she's a courageous woman, fighting a noble battle. Everyone but me. The woman's insane. There are already far too many mouths to feed in this camp. Clearly, she's fully aware of this, yet she stubbornly insists on making things worse.
And the Red Scribes? Know anything about them?
Oh, certainly. A boring bunch of fusspots, spreading science and preaching the good word while never suspecting that anyone might see through their little game.
Our game? Well, pray tell. Give us the details. Please, give us the benefit of your extensive knowledge.
I don't pretend to know about all their little plots. I spend very little time with them, and frankly, I couldn't possibly care less about them. But I am fully aware that pretty speeches serve no better purpose than manipulating minds. They're nothing more than noisy masks behind which hides a reality that is far uglier. The more the melody is sweet, the better it distracts you. And is there anything more disgustingly melodious than the discourse of a red scribe?
When it comes to disgusting discourse, you seem to be something of an expert.
Let's talk about something else. The steward said there was a beast attacking the villagers.
This is what one hears, yes. Something is wandering through the swamps, devouring the reckless. The saddest part is that it's often the guards who end up lost, along with their equipment. Meanwhile, we are overrun with refugees who serve no useful purpose at all.
I'll be back.
That's an excellent idea.
Vulcan, you must help me. The prince is dying.
Well, I'm happy to see that my talents as a doctor are finally being recognized.
There's no doubt an explosion would cure him of all his ills forever. But I was actually thinking about your connections with the Red Scribes. If you could speak to them, it would save me having the prince's death on my conscience.
I wouldn't exactly call myself a friend of theirs. But yeah, I can always give it a try. So is the prince doing any better?
He is still in a coma. He doesn't seem much better, no.
I'm going to talk with the Red Scribes, Doctor. He might know of a cure.
Thank you.
Let's change the subject. I have a few questions I need to ask you. Who is the elf in the healing house? Is he really your prince?
He is Prince Arundel, the son of our king and heir to the Elven crown. Therefore, yes, he is our king.
How the hell did he end up here?
Prince Arundel led a detachment of the Elven army sent to harass the Deadwalkers. And when he reached Bastion, he fell into an ambush. I got wind of this trap, but by the time I arrived, it was too late. When I caught up to the prince, he was already wounded, and most of his soldiers were dead. Those who survived covered our retreat.
To here?
Yes. The route to Carolthas was too dangerous. I knew about this village and felt that it would be secure for at least a little while. As soon as he gets better, we shall leave for Carolthas. The remainder of the human and elven armies are gathering there. That is where the final stage of the war will be played out.
Do you have any idea how to wake the elf prince up?
Unfortunately, I don't. I think I've tried just about every remedy I know, but nothing works.
You said just about. I'm guessing that's not by chance?
It's true. There's one formula I haven't tried yet. An extremely powerful solution that requires a certain ingredient to make. An ingredient I don't have.
What is it?
A very virulent poison secreted by the chrysalid queen. But be careful you don't mix them up with the ones you usually see. I wanted to go looking for them myself, but the villagers stopped me. They say they're really dangerous. It seems they can be found along the road we took to get here. And apparently, they only come out at night.
I'll get you some. I have some questions I'd like to ask you. Do you have any idea about what's happening to me?
I'm afraid I may not be able to help you. Your condition is more due to magic than medicine. Your symptoms remind me of certain mental illnesses, where the subject has the impression he hears voices in his head.
And do these nutcases throw fire and have eyes that burn from within too?
You'd be surprised at what they can do. But obviously, you're not like them. That being the case, if you study them, you might find some answers. In particular, I'm thinking of the fact that most of these poor madmen end up giving free rein to the darkest side of their personalities. Make sure that doesn't happen to you.
I found your soldiers' bodies.
They were my best. I mean, it's sad. So, did you bring back their weapons? I know it's not pretty, but we need them bad.
Yeah, I brought you back their stuff. I just hope it helps the survivors.
Oh, I suppose it's better than nothing. I know I said I wasn't gonna pay you, but those lads won't be collecting their pay, so here, you have it.
A barfly like you probably knows a lot about the people here, I'm guessing, huh?
Flattery will get you everywhere.
You look like you can probably handle a sword. How come you didn't get recruited?
Oh, just unlucky, I suppose. Last time an Alliance recruiter come through, I was stuck in the crapper. Worst dose of the shits I ever had.
Forget I even asked.
So, I never got to the front. I can't tell you how much I regret that.
What's your opinion of the steward?
My opinion? Tell the truth, I never liked how he talks, like an elf reject. But he does what he can. And honestly, he manages better than I do. Him and me, we ain't always seen eye to eye. For example, if it had been up to me, I'd have driven them refugees back into the swamps. And fuck what that bleeding art apothecary says.
How is it going with the refugees?
I'm not a monster. I got nothing against sheltering a few brave souls. Most of my lads are blokes who are here to protect their families. But enough is enough. I just can't protect everybody. You can't squeeze a whole city into a fucking life raft.
How well do you know Randval?
Wow, not enough to trust him with his heirs and all. The knight with this and the knight with that. Having said that, he has saved us from a few accidents in the village. He's a damn good fighter, and he don't ask questions. Balls of steel, that one. Sometimes I think he must have a death wish or something. If that's so, he ain't taking the easy way out. But then, who gives a toss? When he turned up a few weeks ago, it certainly took some of the pressure off. But he acts like his shit don't stink. Obviously, me and the lads aren't good enough for the likes of him.
A lot of the villagers have been complaining about a wild beast in the area. Do you know anything?
Who knows if it's just one animal? The swamp's always been a bit dangerous. But since you want to know, one of my lads on the west gate swears up and down he saw something. And a patrol found another one tore up pretty bad. He's still in the healing house. Considering the bunch of cowards we got hiding in the village, if I was you, I wouldn't pay much mind to what they says. Or at least, don't go wasting your time until you got real proof.
Greetings, mercenary.
Seeing as how you're pretty resourceful, I figure you know everybody here. Is there a smith somewhere around?
Yes, there is one. Me.
I should have guessed. Another con?
Not at all. Listen, I understand you might think I'm some kind of charlatan, but before being an outcast starving in the worst hole in the swamp, I was a blacksmith. The problem is that I don't have any forge or equipment. Otherwise, believe me, I wouldn't be out here begging just to survive.
Why not use the village forge?
I tried that, but that idiot, the so-called artist that works there, almost took my head off and started throwing everything that wasn't nailed down at me. No, what I really need to work right is my equipment. My forge cart.
And where is your cart?
At the other end of the swamp, unfortunately. Here, look. I'll show you on your map.
I'll get it back for you. You'll help me fix up the guard's equipment. Agreed?
Agreed. On one condition, of course. That you also get me some supplies. Let's see. There aren't that many guards, so about 10 pieces of raw metal, 10 good leather hides, and 10 pieces of refined metal should do the trick.
Well, I hope with all that, our guards will be well equipped.
Hey! That's my cart, damn it! That's my cart!
It was a pain in the ass getting it here from the middle of the swamp, so I strongly suggest you fix the forge.
Don't worry about it. You won't regret it. I have to fix it and clean it up a bit, but there'll soon be a second forge in the village. Thanks. Greetings, Vulcan.
I found some of the supplies you need to improve the guard's equipment.
Excellent. I have everything I need. I'll finally be able to make some decent equipment.
I'll tell the guard leader. He'll be glad to hear that. I'd like to ask you a few things. So, Feeling better since you got your forge back?
Much better. I don't need to beg people anymore to make enough to eat. I'm back to work, and it's doing wonders for me. Even the steward is taking an interest in me. He came by to see me earlier and seemed pretty glad to have a second smith in the village. I have to say, the other's an ass. I mean, he's difficult, so...
Tell your boys to go see the blacksmith. He'll repair their armor and weapons now.
Finally, some good news. Great job. That fucking asshole has been refusing to help me if I won't go scouring for his raw materials all over the swamp, as if I was his slave.
Yeah, the nerve of some people, right?
Take this for your trouble.
Greetings, mercenary. What can I do for you?
So are you getting on with the cure to wake up the prince?
Unfortunately, no. Without the poison I told you about, I can't make it.
I brought you some.
Excellent. Just give me some time to prepare the cure and administer it to him.
It doesn't seem to be working. I was wondering, too, a cure made from poison? If it kills him, you know you'll get it too, right, Doc?
A lot you know. Lots of cures are made from poisons. But I have to admit that for the moment, he's not responding to the treatment.
Shit. All that for nothing. Well, we tried.
Mercenary?
I need your help. According to the villagers, there's a beast haunting the swamp, and it's attacked them several times.
I have heard about it, yes. And although I don't have any concrete information about the creature, there are some things that corroborate what they say. Even though we aren't very good at magic, we still feel it. And since we came to the swamp, we have all felt a powerful source nearby. The problem is that the source seems distorted, corrupted. Kind of like the one the Ice Lords use. Only not the same.
I hope for our sake you're right about that. Otherwise we're really up shit creek.
We are very certain of it. But this magic could very well have transformed one or more creatures in the swamp, making them more aggressive, bigger. Who knows? Something to frighten the villagers, in any case.
So you're telling me the thing is magic and corrupted? Brilliant. Just what I needed. The mercenary salutes you, Knight. I have a few questions I need to ask you. You mentioned the Order of the Ember Knights. What is that?
It is the order that the knight belongs to. They are the surviving warriors and honored soldiers of other orders that were lost during this war.
Oh, so it's kind of the Order of the Orphan Knights.
This name does not sound well to his ears.
Right. So you haven't always been an Ember Knight?
No. He was first a defender of the Algander Islands. Then he was a Templar of the Order of Burgians, and then a Brother of the Rock, and then a Summer Tracker.
So all of those orders have been lost. That must have been hard.
He has lost many valorous companions in battle, and his heart is heavy with scars.
I'll bet. So what is the creed of the Ember Knights?
The knight has long searched for the answer. Now he knows it. To seek a glorious death and carry as many enemies as possible away with him.
That's kind of depressing. If you follow me, we should be able to find a chance for you to get your beautiful death. Just try not to commit suicide at the first available opportunity.
The knight will wait for this moment.
You're not from around here. Where do you come from?
The knight was born in the Algander Islands. It is a proud and savage place where the struggle against the wind and vicious neighbors makes a man strong. The Ice Lords attacked the islands more than 15 years ago, long before the rest of Vertial knew that the world was now at war. The clans were always fighting, but they fought together as brothers when the islands were threatened. And as a defender of Algander, the knight had the honor to be one of the first to fight, and with his brothers for a long time he repulsed the invader. Some of the clan chiefs wanted to make peace with the Ice Lords, but the Ice Lords betrayed them, and the clans were decimated. Their numbers were sorely missed during the following battles, and in a few short months the war was almost lost. The knight was sent by the surviving clan chiefs to the mainland to find allies. But time is a cruel master. When he returned to his homeland, the islands were buried beneath the ice.
So how did you end up in the village of Valvanor?
When he saw that all his kin were slain, the knight was hungry for revenge and sought out battles to bathe his pain in blood. But in every battle, he lost more of his brothers in arms and faced an enemy that only grew stronger. The orders were always hazardous, with betrayals common and errors never-ending. Faced with these eternal difficulties and death, always more death, the knight lost his hope, and so he left the field of battle. He decided instead to take care of the war's victims, to protect them, even though he knew it could only last a short time. It is a final mission without any other hope but to give comfort and relief to a few innocent souls.
What do you think of the Red Scribes?
Their studies have made them blind. Only knowledge interests them. They show contempt for all else. Today they have the ear of the last surviving warriors. They do not deserve this honor, and their words are hollow.
So what did you abandon when you entered into the Order of the Ember Knights?
The knight has already said he does not wish to speak of this.
This could be the last chance you get to talk about it.
It is true that tomorrows are becoming less likely. But the abandonment of the past means the forgetting of it, and it is often painful to dig through memories.
That's what you claim, but I can tell you're dying to talk about it.
Very well. Know then that the knight once had a family.
I suppose they must be dead. I'm sorry for your loss.
It was long ago. 15 years have passed since his wife and his 2 daughters were taken from him.
The Deadwalker army?
Yes. They were among the first victims when the Ice Lords attacked the Algander Islands. They were thought to be safe with the other women, far behind the front lines. But the Deadwalkers broke through our lines and stole away the innocents. The knight searched the enemy lines for days, but when he found them, he had to fight what the sorcerers had created from his wife and his children. A dread creature, multiple and monstrous. This was the most difficult fight of all his life.
Oh shit. You don't look much like a good luck charm, you ugly fuck.
My hero! You did it! You're so big and strong. Now would you kindly get me out of this stinking cage?
Do not do it! I know this woman. She is not here by accident. She is a witch. If you free her, we all run the risk of falling under the power of her magic.
But Father, we can't just let this poor person die here. It would be inhuman.
Inhuman? That is exactly what she is, my child.
He's the wicked one. Aeolus, is it not? He's the one who imprisoned me, with no food or water and barely clothed.
I what? You lying bitch! Don't listen to her.
Father?
She is trying to manipulate you. Use your brain, child.
I'm begging you, get me out of here. I can't hold on much longer.
Who are you?
My name is Edwin. The ignorant will tell you that I'm a witch, a sorceress, or even a necromancer. The truth is much simpler and more socially acceptable. I am, in fact, a magician. But neither as powerful nor as evil-minded as they think me.
She lies to thee. She is hiding something, and it is not her body.
You would say that.
I beg your pardon?
No, nothing.
Believe me, she is powerful. She is evil, and she is a danger to us all.
You seem to know a lot about her. What the hell are you doing here anyway?
The steward asked me to look into a dark power that has been affecting some of the villagers. Something evil. And my search has led me here. It is no coincidence. That cursed woman is the cause.
I wouldn't expect him to admit to keeping a woman captive in the swamps for his own evil purposes.
Nonsense.
And so you just trotted out here with no escort? What, were you afraid we'd charge you extra?
I came here as quickly as possible, yes, to stop you committing a grievous error. I was hoping that you would escort us back to the village afterwards. Without a supplement, yes. Seems to me that you are quite well paid.
I've never been in the habit of just letting people die like animals in a cage, whatever their crimes may be. This woman doesn't look like a deadwalker. That's enough for me. We'll take it back to Valvanor, and you can tell your stories to them.
Stay away, you stupid girl! No! Fools! Leave her in that cage!
Now meet your eternity.
What are you doing to him? Let him go!
Very well. You may have him. I am finished.
Father? Father! Oh no, no! This can't be happening!
You're gonna wish you had died back there in that cell, you sick bitch!
Wait, wait! If I am to die, I wish to know who stands before me.
I am Vulcan, Powder Master of the Freeborn Blades. And as for the man you made the mistake of killing, he was our...
That is not my question. Who stands before me? Are you an imbecile or blind?
I might be the mercenary who is going to grab you by your snake of a tongue and throw you into the darkest pit he can find.
From what I can see, you're an imbecile, incapable of piercing the face that hides the true nature of the Red Scribes.
Well, I can pierce your face, if that's all you want, in several places.
Mock, if you like. Lamb that you are. You insist on believing that your employers are only scholars, curious and inoffensive. Can you not see more? Red Scribes, Ice Lords, they come from the same mold, and they want the same thing. Some are simply more successful in their efforts. Aeolus thought I possessed knowledge which he could use to become the equal of the Ice Lords. That's why he questioned me.
That's ridiculous! You are the monster! You're a liar! My father wasn't like that! A liar! You murderer! You'll pay for what you did!
Sybil, wait! Shit. Ranval, you think you could find the girl and get her back to the village safe and sound?
Yes. The knight will leave now to search for her.
Thanks. Witch, I suggest you behave yourself if you don't want to find yourself back rotting in that cell of yours. I'm far from finished with you. I have questions. Lots of questions. And you had better make damn sure I like the answers.
So be it. Then I will tell you exactly what you want to hear, mercenary.
You had the upper hand. Why did you decide to kill the leader of the Red Scribes?
I desperately needed to replenish my power, so I drained his. My mood grows a bit murderous when I get too hungry, or when I spend too many days trapped in a filthy cell without so much as a toilet. Your friend was no hero. His aim was to reproduce the same ancient rituals that permitted powerful magicians to become the Ice Lords that we are fighting even now.
He wasn't my friend. He was my employer, and a very influential man. You could have spared him, giving credence to your version of events, but you chose to kill him, and thus any chance of them listening to you.
He was a deceitful and manipulative man. No one would have listened to me, so I permitted myself the pleasure of preventing him from harming anyone else.
The World Heart has had nothing but suffering from these magicians. I rejoice at this death. We need more like it.
Your pleasure won't last long. I have to bring you to Valvanor, where both of us are going to be in a lot of trouble. And since you took it upon yourself to kill their leader, I think you can expect that the Red Scribes are going to want you dead.
Do what you must do, mercenary. I'm your prisoner and will offer no resistance. Therefore, take me to your captain.
My captain? We have a contract with the Red Scribes. If you have decided you'd rather end it all, I can do it right here, right now, if you like. Cleanly. Otherwise, your best move is to tell your side of the story to the steward, if he'll even listen to you.
Ah, but there is the girl.
What girl? Sybil? You're dreaming. You killed her father right before her own eyes. She's never gonna take your side.
On the contrary, she will tell the truth. She will confirm all that happened here.
We'll see. But whatever happens, if I go down Witch, I guarantee you'll go down even harder. Besides Alas, did you see any of the other Red Scribes?
I was drugged before being brought here. Aeolus is the only scribe who came to visit me during my captivity. But his second-in-command must have known, although I don't know exactly how much Aeolus was able to manipulate his puppets. If they are all as naive as his daughter, I imagine the temptation must have been great.
The Red Scribes performed a ritual in an ancient temple. Does that mean anything to you?
So that's the reason why he disappeared. The ritual was designed to augment his power. Had it succeeded, he would have become an accomplished magician, the first step toward becoming an Ice Lord. Given the ease with which I killed him, I suspect the ritual was a failure, or at least a partial failure.
Let's just say the results weren't quite what he was hoping for. But something definitely happened. There was a burst of light, or maybe flame, and this thing entered inside me.
A thing? What thing?
A sort of parasite. The Red Scribes told me it was a demon.
Neither one nor the other, insolent boy. I bring thee flames. I bring thee the World Heart. I bring thee the power, and thou doth hold me back with thy ingratitude and thy weak, pitiful body. Thou darest name me parasite?
Hello? You still here?
Huh? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. He's kind of sensitive.
I must say, I have never heard of such a thing. It is, at the very least, troubling.
The end result is I sometimes find myself wondering who I am. What I am. That is, when we're not arguing, or it's not taking control without asking me what I think about it. Then again...
This is absolutely fascinating. I think, when we get the chance, we should talk about it in more depth, meaning we undoubtedly need to experiment a bit. There is probably much to learn from this demon.
We'll see. For now, we've got more pressing problems. Let's finish this discussion in Valvanor. We better get back before they send a battalion out to look for us.